I mean, if he don't want to blow into it, you know, he don't have to. You know that. It's not against the law to drink and drive. I mean, it's not against the law to have a beer and drive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And how can you prove that? I mean, I have the most training right now on scene.
Then you need to act like it. Then
no, I am acting like that. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling.
Okay, well here.
All I know is that man ain't gonna drive off him.
Deal with it.
No, I'm saying like.
No, you deal with it. You got it.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Southern Draw Law. My name is James White, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, former police officer. So I generally try not to duplicate the work of people in my space like We the People and Lackluster and the Civil Rights Lawyer. Actually, I guess I said that incorrectly. This is actually their space. I'm the new guy. I'm the guy with, 11,000 subscribers, and they all have well over, and John Bryan and Abaya Israel both have 600,000, and Lackluster has well over 1 million. But I generally do what I can to try to find my own videos to talk about and illustrate my points. But sometimes there is a video that is packed full of so many different things that you almost have to say something. And that's where we find ourselves today. So a few days ago, I was watching Abaya Israel's channel and I came across this video, and I watched it actually a couple different times. And every single time that I watched it again, I took a closer look at something that is present in the video that is also a major contamination for the pool of law enforcement. And so in watching this video multiple times, it occurred to me that you can see just about everything that's wrong with law enforcement in 2024 in a single video. So I thought I would approach talking about this incident from a different angle and share my thoughts about how it demonstrates so many shortcomings in the quality of today's police work. Now, the original video actually came from the channel Shields of Shame, so I'm not using the whole video, just parts to illustrate my points. I recommend that you head over to the Shields of Shame channel and view it in its entirety and give them credit for sharing the original work. With that, y'all buckle up. We're gonna take a look at this video.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, we got a call about you all over the roadway. Then I get behind you and you was swerving a little bit.
No, I found him behind that trailer right there.
You found him behind that trailer right there?
Yeah.
Okay. You come over. You come over a few times. Do you got your driver's license on it? Have you been drinking today?
No, I've been chewing tobacco today.
Chewing tobacco? Okay.
Yeah.
Where y'all headed to?
You drop your truck off?
Where's that?
Right here.
Is this your car or his car?
No, it's his car.
This one is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mom car.
Alright, so
So I don't know. I don't have a problem with the
you say you need an alcohol sensor? The alcohol sensor? Here.
Joe it is. I'm finna go home.
So who's doing the Who's doing the DUI?
One of y'all trying to make it up.
Okay. Well, who stopped the car?
He did.
Joey did?
Yeah.
Oh.
First of all, this is already a shit show. I'll give Officer Lambert the benefit of the doubt on the original stop in that it was probably legal. He says that he got a call that a vehicle was swerving, then he got behind the driver and observed him swerving. Fine. He might be lying, but here's why I think he's probably not. You'll see in a few minutes that he's in a hurry. He says they still have him working nights and he has no interest in the paperwork involved in a DUI, so he doesn't plan on arresting anybody. So I doubt he'd stop the guy if he didn't actually think there was something going on. Now, maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but that's my take. But that leads me to my initial observation about the nature of law enforcement today, and that is complacency and laziness. Both the supervising sergeant and Officer Lambert are concerned only with either doing nothing or going home as fast as possible. Neither of them care about their actual job or the fact that they're paid by the taxpayer. It's just a paycheck. So the first ugliness that sort of manifests itself here is, again, laziness and complacency. No thoughts given whatsoever to what the whole purpose of you doing this job is. Now you can say, well, I mean, if they were lazy, they wouldn't even have stopped the car, and at least they did stop it when they thought the guy was drunk. But look, the way these guys are acting, I can tell you 100% that they only stopped this car because it came across the radio as a possible drunk driver, and they were on duty and on the radio when they gave a bolo or be on the lookout about this car. They were more worried about getting in trouble if the driver hit someone than they were about actually preventing a DUI accident. 100% CYA and self-interests guided that decision. Now we'll see more of that shortly, so let's continue.
Cause y'all asked for officers, so I'm like, I thought y'all already did everything, or testing and stuff. Hey.
Hey, I'm not even, unless y'all want to work it, I'm not arresting nobody. Because
Wrens 302
I'm not doing anything because they still got me on nights. So unless y'all want to work a DUI, if not, I'm going to have somebody come pick them up.
Who stopped the car?
I did.
I got called for it. Yeah, your body camera's upside down.
Yeah, some of it is.
But I just got called. Y'all asked for alcohol sensor. I have an alcohol sensor. Whoever needs it can.
Yeah, just let me see it real quick. I'm gonna stop and blow into it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if he don't want to blow into it, he don't have to. You know that. It's not against the law to drink and drive. I mean, it's not against the law to have a beer and drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We got to see if he can drive.
And how can you prove that? I mean, I have the most training right now on scene.
Then you need to act like it then.
No, I am acting like that. I'm telling you.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling.
Okay, well, here,
All
you
I know
deal
is
with
that
it.
man ain't gonna drive off and
Deal with it.
No, I'm saying like.
No, you deal with it. You got it.
If it'll help what I could do, I was taking that to Lord.
Come on. I don't know what he feels about it today. Come on. Run, chick.
So what was unsafe about him?
Wrens 102 Central. I'm in service. Turn over to whoever. Central, I'm out of service off duty. Hey Siri. Call John Maynard.
So what do you see here? At the first challenge or first sort of infighting and bickering, Lambert abruptly just leaves his stop. Now, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's pretty obvious that we're dealing with like a combined IQ of, just north of 200 between these two remaining deputies here. Among the three of them, Lambert is the most intelligent. You can tell by the way he communicates that he's a little smarter than the other two. He's quicker on his feet in responding with his reactions, with relevant questions to the driver, but he's certainly not a rocket scientist. And this stop begins to fall apart in ways that I don't even know how to begin to describe. Canon is initially concerned with the sergeant having his body camera turned upside down, so Canon fixes him. Who knows how long that's been wrong or how many people have gotten dizzy trying to watch his body cam footage. Canon brings out the PBT or preliminary breath test or whatever they call it now. He hands it to Lambert, but he wants to lecture Lambert on how he's supposed to use it. And you can tell these guys don't really like each other at all, and this kind of brings me to my second observation generally about what's wrong with law enforcement. And that is that just like many of the other videos that we watch, not a single freaking one of these guys is concerned about the rights or condition of the driver. This is all every bit about like ego and infighting and being right. And usually we see it, manifested on the driver. That's not what we see here, but this time we see it with each other. And you know what else? You're dealing with a guy who's clearly not a young person. There are a lot of things besides alcohol that could cause a person of a certain age to swerve behind the wheel of a vehicle. Any questions or concerns raised about medical issues or anything like that? No, I mean, they're too worried about who's racing to the 7-Eleven to get the free Big Gulp refill or who's going to be stuck writing this report or arresting this guy. It is undisputably true that none of them care about doing things the right way. All they care about is being right. Hell, they're not even watching the driver. You hear all this talk about officer safety. No one even has eyes on the person they stopped. Where's the officer safety in that? You've got a random guy over here to the passenger side hanging out trying to communicate with them while they're arguing with each other. He's apparently the person that the driver was following to pull that trailer. You've got a guy that they thought was drinking who, by the way, while they're arguing with each other, might be experiencing a diabetic episode of ketoacidosis and presently dying, but don't worry about that. He's up there by himself just controlling the shit out of that vehicle, living his best half comatose life while these backwoods goobers bicker back and forth about who has the most training that they're going to improperly utilize, which, by the way, I'm sure cut a lot of corners in its delivery. And then you got Lambert, who just abruptly gets pissed and leaves, having not articulated properly to anyone what the reasonable suspicion for the stop was. He's already said he don't want to arrest anybody. He just wants to get out of there because he's on night shift. So the only person involved who actually cares about the constitutionality of the driver is ostensibly Officer Canon. Now, I say ostensibly or apparently because in light of Canon's history, I have to question his motives too. Shields of Shame ran a little piece on him as sort of a ancillary piece to this video, talking about how he's been arrested for helping 2 other deputies at his old department beat the brakes off a guy who was handcuffed. I'll leave a link to the Shields of Shame report in the description, but that steers me more towards the notion that Quincy Canon is like, nope, I'm not getting another lawsuit for civil rights violation with my name on it, than it does towards convincing me that he's genuinely concerned about the rights of the driver. And this leads me to my third general overarching observation about what's wrong with policing, and that is gypsy cops. I mean, guys, how do you get a job as a cop after your last job as a cop led you to being arrested and charged with beating a guy in handcuffs and being in the middle of a federal civil rights lawsuit? Even in the podunk town of Wrens, Georgia, I would expect that they would not hire somebody like that, especially if they have less money to spend on a civil rights lawsuit. I mean, holy moly, I just don't understand how this stuff happens.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, sir. My name is Officer Canon. I work for Wrens Police Department. What happened today?
I don't know. I got pulled over.
You got pulled over? Okay. By him?
I don't know.
Okay.
By him or who?
Okay. Okay. All right. How much you had to drink today?
I had 1 beer today,
Okay.
and that's it. Now I know my blood pressure is up.
Okay. Well, what we want to do is we just want to check you.
Hold on. All right, it's your choice. Do you want to blow on this? I gotta see. Right now, I mean, you're looking functional to me. It's not like that. I don't see nothing. I didn't even stop you. Like this is completely. I didn't stop. I didn't stop you.
But
you
I'm
know,
saying, they saying I was swerving all over the road. I was.
Look, bottom line is we just want you to blow in this. That way we can see if you are able to drive.
the thing, Brown, is
I'm not gonna doing that.
Okay,
So
and that's
I'm
his
not.
choice.
I'm not. I wasn't
Okay.
swerving.
Well,
I don't know who called y'all. I followed him to the shop. Take the truck to the shop.
Hey, Sergeant Brown, that's his choice. I gotta prove that he's less safe. I can't. It's against. I'll violate his Fifth Amendment right.
No, he was proved less safe when he was crossing that line
and now
down there.
What crossing what line? I did not. Man,
he doesn't want to blow on it. That's his choice. I gotta visibly see what's like. When I make my DUI, I visibly see abnormal
Come here.
behaviors.
We're not going to hold courtside road, one.
Okay.
Two, we're not going to argue with each other in front of people. We're here to back one another up,
Okay, and Joey left.
Okay, well, I can't help what Joey did. Now it's me and you here.
Okay.
So we're going to do what's got to be done.
Okay, and what's
right
that?
now we're looking like complete idiots to them, okay?
Okay. So what do you want me to do?
If Joey stopped, Joe don't want to do nothing with it, that's fine. He don't want to blow on that, that's fine. But he's not driving that car away from here.
I can't
Due
be,
to his driving.
I can't be part of that because that's unlawful.
Well, you go do what you're going to do. I'll take care of it.
Okay. Oh my God, this is completely.
Okay, this is where
Sir,
we're
here
at.
goes your ID back.
He admitted he's been drinking.
Yes, sir.
All right. The officer that stopped him already said he wasn't going to pursue no DUI with him.
Yes, sir.
Unlock him up. But what we want to do is check him and see if he was okay to drive.
Yes, sir.
But since he refused to let us check him, then I need somebody to drive that vehicle.
Well, what I can do, I can let him get in with me. I'm gonna go right down to the Lords and unload my truck. I'll come back and load this one up and take it back to Barton.
Okay. Because I don't want him getting
Yes,
hurt,
sir.
and I don't want him hurting nobody
Yes, sir.
else.
If anyone is right in this situation, like gun to my head and I had to pick somebody, it's Officer Canon, but he's still a mess. Canon at least does seem to understand what the training teaches and what I've mentioned to you guys multiple times when going over a DUI stop, which is that everything you do and observe as a police officer gets put into this totality of the circumstances universe, and it all builds towards the probable cause for the arrest. You don't start in any case with a breathalyzer. The reason is if the person refuses, your stop is pretty much over and you have no evidence. You have to build build it. You start with questions, you observe their clues about their responses, and then you build the field sobriety test, and then you observe more clues. Then once you've essentially established your probable cause based on observations and clues and field sobriety tests, then knowing you're going to make an arrest either way because you've already built the probable cause, you ask for the PBT, which is again preliminary breath test. And so many DUIs these days are non-alcohol related, and considering that the PBT results are not admissible in court because they don't differentiate between deep lung air and residual mouth alcohol, most departments don't even equip their officers with PBTs anymore. Now, if I talk too fast and you didn't quite get that, what I mean by residual mouth alcohol is that if you use Listerine on the side of the road, you're going to fail a PBT test. If you drink a beer right before the stop, you're going to blow high on a PBT test because it doesn't know whether the alcohol was recently in your mouth or whether it's a result of the alcohol in your deep lung air. The more advanced machines that they use at the station or the jailhouse can differentiate between what is deep lung air and what is residually in your mouth. And before you give someone a test on that machine, you observe them for like 20 minutes and make sure they don't ingest anything that could alter the test results. So the PC for the arrest happens before the PBT comes out. Canon knows based on his training he doesn't have a basis for demanding a PBT, he doesn't have a constitutional stop, and he doesn't want to get sued again. So that leads me to my next observation, which is about leadership. What is Sergeant Brown's role in all this? It is certainly not effective leadership. Sergeant Brown, after Lambert leaves, pulls Canon to the side to chew him out about undermining him in front of the guy, did nothing to Lambert. He hasn't considered for a second that they are detaining this guy without either of them observing or confirming a violation. And you know what else he apparently hasn't considered as it relates to leadership and being undermined is the freaking guy that they are both there to back up who made the stop and performed the very policy definition of dereliction of duty right in front of his sergeant and the citizen, and all because he got up in his ego and got it twisted up. He just bailed on the traffic stop, leaving this guy detained. And what did Sergeant Brown do to Lambert? He should have immediately been on the radio and ordered him back to the scene to legally deal with this driver. Had any one of us needed a break because we had somewhere to be or was going to be late for something or had a midnight shift to worry about that we needed to get sleep for, you think we would have gotten a break from the police because we didn't have time for this nonsense? I mean, the answer's obvious. And did you notice what Lambert did as soon as he got in the car and marked off duty? He said, "Hey Siri, call John Maynard." That is this guy. John Maynard, Chief of Police for the city of Wrens, Georgia, with a population, by the way, of under 2,500 people and only 9 uniformed police officers. That's right, we just watched a third of the Wrens police force sling shit on each other for 10 minutes and each go their different direction and pout, with one bailing on his sergeant and calling the chief directly. So he is so comfortable with what he did that he just jumped the entire chain of command, which albeit is only 6 people, and called the chief directly to try to tell him about what he just did. So there's absolutely no leadership going on in this situation at all, from the top down. Because if I was the chief and a guy did that and called me, I would send his ass right back to that scene. And then we would deal with the rest of it later. But you have to do right by the citizen and you have to do your legal obligation when you stop somebody before you can start worrying about your feelings. So in closing, let's recap what we all just saw. And I've come up with 10 things present in this video that are the underlying sickness that causes the YouTube videos we see time and time again in modern policing. And these are in no particular order, just in the order I happen to observe them in the video. Number 1, complacency. Number 2, laziness. Number 3, below average intelligence. Number 4, no concern for citizens' rights. Number 5, poor officer citizen safety. Number 6, self-interest, CYA mentality. Number 7, ego-dominated decision-making. Number 8, no concern for constitutional authority whatsoever, let alone not understanding it. Number 9, gypsy cops. And number 10, ineffective leadership. Anyway, for those of you that stuck around, I do hope you got something out of this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. Leave me a comment where you think it's appropriate. Until I see you again, take care. Always film your interactions with the police and keep your evidence to yourself.